Imagine waking up one morning to hear that millions of genetically modified mosquitoes are about to be released into the air you breathe, in your own community. They are supposed to fight malaria. But what if the project goes wrong? What if these insects, engineered in foreign laboratories, trigger consequences that no scientist can fully predict? Now picture a young African leader, fearless, defiant, and determined, standing up and saying, "No, not in my country, not on African soil." That leader is Captain Ibrahim Traore, the current head of state of Burkina Faso. In a bold move that has shocked the international community, Traore has suspended a controversial project backed by none other than Bill Gates. A project involving the release of genetically modified mosquitoes across Africa to combat malaria. Today on Easy Echo Africa, we dive deep into this explosive story. Why was Burkina Faso chosen as the testing ground for GMO mosquitoes? Why did Bill Gates and his foundations push so hard for this project? And most importantly, why did Ibrahim Traore step in and stop it? By the end of this video, you'll understand why many Africans are calling Traore not just a president, but a protector of the continent's future. To fully understand the gravity of Traore's decision, let's rewind. For decades, malaria has been one of Africa's deadliest killers. Every year, hundreds of thousands die, most of them children under 5. It's a tragedy that has motivated scientists, governments, and billionaires to search for solutions. One of the most ambitious projects has been genetically modifying mosquitoes. The idea is simple on paper. Scientists engineer male mosquitoes that cannot reproduce normally. When they mate with female mosquitoes, the population of malaria-carrying insects decreases. With fewer mosquitoes, malaria transmission falls, and lives are saved. Sounds good, right? But here's the catch. The project is backed heavily by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, alongside other Western research institutions. And while the intentions are presented as humanitarian, critics say Africa is being treated as a giant laboratory for experiments that could have unpredictable ecological consequences. Burkina Faso was chosen as the first testing ground in Africa. Millions of GMO mosquitoes were set to be released in selected regions. Supporters called it a breakthrough. Critics called it a dangerous gamble with Africa's ecosystem. And that's where Ibrahim Traore entered the story. Since taking power in 2022, Captain Ibrahim Traore has built a reputation as a leader who refuses to bow to foreign pressure. Whether it's kicking out French troops, standing up to Western powers, or calling for African unity, he has consistently put Burkina Faso and Africa first. So when the news of the GMO Mosquito project reached his desk, Traore made a move that few leaders dared to make. He suspended the program. Why? Because he understood something crucial. Africa has been exploited for centuries through colonialism and neo-colonial experiments. From mining resources to medical trials, Africans have often been the test subjects. The GMO Mosquito project risked turning Burkina Faso into yet another testing lab for Western science. Traore declared that Burkina Faso could not afford to gamble with the lives of its people or the balance of its environment. This decision was not only scientific, it was deeply political. By blocking the project, Traore sent a clear message. Backhand index pointing right. Africa will not be experimented on without consent. We will choose our own path. Now let's dig deeper into the risks that made Traore act. While scientists argue that GMO mosquitoes are safe, there are serious concerns. Unpredictable ecological effects. Mosquitoes are part of the food chain. Birds, bats, fish, and other insects depend on them. If GMO mosquitoes reduce natural populations, the entire ecosystem could shift, possibly in harmful ways. Mutation risks. Once released, genetically modified organisms cannot be recalled. If they mutate in unexpected ways, the effects could be irreversible. Dependency on Western technology. If Africa relies on GMO mosquitoes controlled by foreign labs, it becomes dependent on Western science and funding. This could create a new form of biological colonialism. Trust issues. Africans remember the dark history of medical experiments during colonial times. The skepticism is not paranoia. It is rooted in real historical abuse. For Traore, these risks outweighed the promised benefits. Better to fight malaria with homegrown solutions than to gamble with genetic experiments pushed from outside. To understand why Traore's decision resonates so deeply, we must look at Africa's past. In the colonial era, European powers often tested vaccines, drugs, and treatments on African populations. In modern times, multinational pharmaceutical companies have also faced accusations of using Africans for trials with little accountability. Even in agriculture, GMO seeds have been introduced in Africa, often creating dependency on Western corporations like Monsanto. So when Bill Gates came with a mosquito project, many Africans saw history repeating itself. Traore's suspension of the program was not just about mosquitoes. It was about breaking a cycle of exploitation. When the suspension was announced, reactions came fast and furious. Supporters of Bill Gates' project criticized Traore, saying he was standing in the way of scientific progress. They argued that malaria kills far more people than any potential risk from GMO mosquitoes. African activists and independent scientists praised him. They called him a leader with courage to question powerful interests and protect African sovereignty. Ordinary citizens across Burkina Faso and beyond expressed relief. Many said they didn't trust the project from the start. The global media painted Traore as controversial, but in Africa, his reputation as a protector of the people only grew stronger. So if not GMO mosquitoes, how can Africa fight malaria? Traore and many African scientists argue for homegrown approaches. Natural remedies and traditional medicine combined with modern science. Improved healthcare systems to provide early malaria detection and treatment. Clean water and sanitation to reduce mosquito breeding grounds. Mosquito nets and vaccines developed in partnership with African institutions. The point is simple. Africa can and must find African solutions to African problems. This story fits into the larger narrative of Ibrahim Traore as more than just Burkina Faso's leader. He represents a new wave of African leadership that refuses to be controlled by foreign powers. He is positioning himself as a defender of African dignity, sovereignty, and future generations. His decision on the GMO Mosquito project is seen by many as a symbolic act of saving Africa from hidden dangers disguised as help. The suspension of the GMO Mosquito project is not just a single event. It could shape Africa's future in profound ways. Encourages critical thinking. Other African countries may now question foreign-backed projects more carefully. Strengthens sovereignty. Leaders may feel empowered to say no when something doesn't serve their people. Builds trust. Citizens gain confidence when their leaders protect them from external risks. Inspires unity. Traore's stand fuels the dream of a more united, self-reliant Africa. In short, this decision could be remembered as a turning point, where Africa stopped being a testing ground and started becoming a decision maker. So here's the big question. Backhand index pointing right, did Ibrahim Traore just save Africa from a dangerous experiment? Or did he block a project that could have saved millions of lives? The debate will continue, but one thing is clear. Traore is not afraid to put his people first, even if it means standing up to billionaires and global institutions. And that's why, in the eyes of many Africans, Captain Ibrahim Traore is more than just a president. He's a symbol of resistance and hope. If you found this video powerful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Easy Echo Africa, where we uncover the stories shaping Africa's future. Because the struggle for Africa's freedom, dignity, and sovereignty is only just beginning.